Well, we have got another big story today for you. We're less than 3 hours away from the July jobs report. Employers expected to have added 183,000 jobs, with the unemployment rate falling potentially to 4.3%. That'd be a 16-year low. Joining us now, Rob Morgan, Chief Investment Officer with Sandy Spring Trust. Rob, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Cheryl.
You know, we were talking about wages earlier this week. If you look, paychecks seem to be getting bigger for workers at the lower income levels. So is wages the real story today?
I think so. You know, I think the Fed has been somewhat in a box here. They've been raising rates, and they're soon going to be, you know, reducing the balance sheet. And of course, the reason they do that is because they want to choke off inflation. But there's been no inflation. So I think not only will wages be looked at from the standpoint of workers looking for faster growth in wages, but I think the Fed also wants to maybe see even a little bit of wage inflation in the report today as well.
Because they keep predicting that inflation, and we really haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Let's talk about the number itself. 180,000 jobs expected. You know, it's not 200,000 jobs. That's kind of where we were before the recession. How far away are we from getting to those types of numbers? Because that's your real economy, if you will.
Well, you know, the Fed has said that the first part of the year really was the economy had slowed somewhat, but they felt like the factors that prompted that were temporary. I guess I'm going to take them at their word, and so they're looking for an acceleration really as we go forward. So hopefully we do start to see those numbers get closer to the 200,000 mark. And 180,000, it's somewhat close, but yeah, we'd like to see a little bit more robustness there. You know,
is there a real story here though with the jobless picture and basically that low unemployment rate? We talk about the labor participation rate, which has still remained relatively high, and that's kind of been the negative story to the jobs growth that we've seen over the last few years since the recession. The participation rate, is that the story today as well that we need to look at?
Yeah, I think I certainly think so. Hopefully, these discouraged workers that have been out of the workplace for the last several years, hopefully as the rate continues to go down, that will draw more people into the employment market.
What about the manufacturing sector, though, Rob? You know, we brought our viewers this story earlier. Toyota Mazda expected to announce today a $1.6 billion investment. It's going to be a new plant. You've got talk of Apple maybe bringing in new plants in the United States. So, I mean, manufacturing, this is what President Trump promised on the campaign trail. Is this the reality?
Yeah, I think you know, this is all very encouraging news. Certainly, you know, I mentioned before, workers want to see wage inflation. So does the Fed. Employers don't want to see it though. So they are certainly hoping that wage inflation stays in check. But I think on the manufacturing front, the news is starting to look somewhat positive.
All right. Well, we hope so. We are less than 3 hours away from that report. Rob Morgan, thank you, Rob.